Does your heart break when you see your dog's panicked face as you reach for your keys? That moment when their tail drops and their eyes fill with worry, it's not just in your imagination. There's fascinating science happening inside your dog's brain during these moments, and today, we're going to decode it. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what's happening in your dog's mind and, more importantly, how to help them feel secure even when you're away. Your journey to understanding your dog's anxiety starts right now. 1. What exactly is separation anxiety? When we talk about separation anxiety in dogs, we're diving into something far more complex than simple neediness or bad behavior. Imagine feeling genuine panic every time someone you love walks out the door. That's the reality for dogs with separation anxiety. This isn't just about missing you, it's about their very survival instincts kicking into overdrive. Think about your dog's ancestral history for a moment. Dogs evolved as pack animals, where survival depended on staying together. When you leave, your dog's primitive brain doesn't understand that you're just going to work or running errands. Instead, their brain processes your absence as a genuine threat to their survival. This triggers a cascade of psychological and physiological responses that can feel overwhelming for them. Many pet parents mistake these anxiety behaviors for disobedience or spite, but nothing could be further from the truth. Your dog isn't trying to manipulate you or get revenge when they destroy furniture or have accidents in the house. They're experiencing genuine distress that they can't control. It's similar to how humans might experience a panic attack. It's not a choice, but rather an overwhelming emotional and physical response. Understanding this fundamental truth about separation anxiety changes everything about how we approach it. When we recognize that our dogs are experiencing real fear and distress, we can move away from punishment-based approaches and toward compassionate, science-based solutions. This understanding becomes the foundation for everything else we're going to discuss about helping our dogs feel secure when alone. If you're finding this information helpful, give this video a quick like. It helps more pet parents discover these crucial insights about their dog's anxiety. 2. The brain's role. The fascinating story of separation anxiety begins in your dog's brain, where a complex dance of neurons and chemicals creates the anxiety response we see on the surface. To truly understand why traditional training methods often fall short, we need to explore what's happening in your dog's mind when they're alone. At the center of this response is the amygdala, your dog's emotional processing center. When you leave, this ancient part of the brain activates their fight-or-flight response. It's like an oversensitive alarm system that's constantly scanning for danger. In dogs with separation anxiety, this alarm gets triggered by things that shouldn't be threatening, like the sound of your keys or the sight of you putting on your coat. This activation sets off a chain reaction throughout your dog's brain. The hypothalamus signals for the release of stress hormones, primarily cortisol and adrenaline. These hormones flood your dog's system, preparing them for a threat that, in reality, doesn't exist. Their heart rate increases, their breathing becomes rapid, and their muscles tense up, all because their brain is convinced they're in danger. What makes this particularly challenging is that each time this anxiety response occurs, it strengthens the neural pathways associated with fear. Think of it like water flowing down a hill. Each time it follows the same path, that path gets deeper and easier for the water to follow. Similarly, each anxiety episode makes it easier for your dog's brain to fall into that same pattern of panic. But here's where hope comes in. Just as these neural pathways can be strengthened, new, calmer response patterns can be created. This neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to form new neural connections, is the key to helping dogs overcome separation anxiety. Every positive experience, every moment of calm when alone, helps create and strengthen these new, healthier neural pathways. 3. The biological process of stress. The impact of separation anxiety extends far beyond your dog's brain, creating a full-body response that affects every system. Understanding this biological process helps explain why separation anxiety can be so exhausting for our dogs and why addressing it quickly is crucial for their overall health. When the anxiety response begins, your dog's body prepares for survival. Their adrenal glands release cortisol and adrenaline, triggering immediate physical changes. Their heart rate accelerates, pumping blood to their muscles. Their breathing becomes faster and shallower, preparing for potential action. Their digestive system temporarily shuts down, redirecting energy to more immediate survival needs. This is why many dogs with separation anxiety experience digestive issues or lose interest in food when left alone. This stress response also affects their immune system. Chronic anxiety can suppress immune function, making your dog more susceptible to illness. The constant flood of stress hormones can lead to inflammation throughout the body, potentially contributing to various health issues over time. It's like their body is running a marathon every time they're left alone, even though they're not going anywhere. The physical toll of this repeated stress response can't be understated. Just as humans feel exhausted after a panic attack, dogs experience similar fatigue from these anxiety episodes. Their muscles become tense, their energy depletes, and their entire system becomes overwhelmed. This explains why many dogs with separation anxiety sleep heavily when their owners return. Their bodies need to recover from the intense stress response. Understanding this biological process helps explain why quick-fix solutions or punishment-based approaches don't work. We're dealing with a complex physiological response that requires a comprehensive approach to address both the emotional and physical aspects of anxiety. 4. Behavioral symptoms. The way separation anxiety manifests in our dog's behavior tells us a powerful story about their emotional state. These behaviors aren't random acts of defiance, they're direct expressions of the intense stress we've been discussing. Understanding these behaviors helps us recognize anxiety earlier and respond more effectively. When a dog with separation anxiety starts destroying furniture or scratching at doors, they're not being spiteful about being left alone. This destructive behavior often focuses on exit points like windows and doors, or items that carry their owner's scent. It's their desperate attempt to either escape the situation or reconnect with their family. The intensity of this destruction often reflects the severity of their distress. Excessive vocalization, whether barking, howling, or whining, serves multiple purposes for an anxious dog. It's partly a call for help, similar to a child crying when scared. It's also a self-soothing behavior, much like how humans might talk to themselves when nervous. Some dogs will bark continuously for hours, their voices becoming hoarse, showing just how compelling this anxiety response can be. Pacing and repetitive movements are another common manifestation of separation anxiety. These behaviors help dogs cope with overwhelming stress by releasing nervous energy. You might notice your dog following the same path over and over, or circling repeatedly before you leave. This pattern often continues long after departure, as evidenced by worn paths in carpets or yards. Perhaps most distressing for many pet parents are the house-training accidents that can occur during separation anxiety episodes. Even perfectly house-trained dogs might urinate or defecate when experiencing severe anxiety. This isn't regression in training, it's a direct result of the stress response we discussed earlier affecting their digestive system. The anxiety literally overwhelms their physical control. 5. Science-based solutions. Now that we understand the complexity of separation anxiety, let's explore how we can help our dogs feel secure when alone. These solutions are based on our understanding of canine neurology and behavior, designed to create lasting change rather than just managing symptoms. The foundation of treating separation anxiety lies in gradually changing your dog's emotional response to being alone. This process, known as desensitization and counterconditioning, works by slowly exposing your dog to brief periods of separation while ensuring they remain calm and comfortable. Think of it as teaching your dog a new emotional language, one where being alone feels safe rather than threatening. Start by identifying your departure cues, the actions that trigger your dog's anxiety before you even leave. These might include picking up your keys, putting on shoes, or grabbing your bag. Begin breaking these associations by performing these actions randomly throughout the day without actually leaving. This helps your dog learn that these cues don't always predict separation. Creating a secure environment is crucial for success. This means establishing a safe space where your dog can relax when alone. Use natural anxiety aids like calming music specifically designed for dogs, or pheromone diffusers that mimic calming dog signals. Consider using food puzzles or frozen treats that take time to consume. These provide both mental stimulation and positive association with alone time. The key to success lies in progression at your dog's pace. Start with extremely short separations, perhaps just stepping outside for a few seconds while your dog remains calm. Gradually increase the duration as your dog shows comfort at each level. This might mean spending weeks working up to just a few minutes of separation, but this gradual approach builds lasting confidence. For dogs with severe anxiety, working with professionals becomes essential. A veterinary behaviorist can evaluate whether medication might help support your training efforts. Anti-anxiety medications don't solve the problem alone, but they can help your dog reach a mental state where learning new responses becomes possible. Remember, this journey requires patience and consistency. Every small success builds toward greater confidence. Document your progress to help you recognize improvements that might seem subtle day to day. Most importantly, celebrate these small victories. They represent real changes in your dog's emotional well-being and their trust in the world around them. For those who want to learn more about dogs, check out the link in the first pinned comment for a special ebook filled with tips and tricks to improve your relationship with your dog. Let's be clear, your dog's separation anxiety isn't about manipulation or bad training. It's a real neurological response that can improve with the right approach. Starting today, work on those departure cues we discussed. Pick up your keys randomly without leaving. Create that safe space we talked about. And remember, start small, even if it's just stepping outside for a few seconds at first. Every positive experience builds new neural pathways in your dog's brain. Each calm moment alone strengthens their confidence. With patience and these science-based approaches, positive change is possible. You're not just training behavior, you're helping reshape your dog's emotional response to being alone. Remember, understanding leads to better solutions. Your dog's anxiety might feel overwhelming now, but you've already taken the first step by learning what's really happening in their mind. Together, we can help our dogs feel more secure, one step at a time. Subscribe to receive more science-based content about dog behavior. Share this video with someone whose dog struggles with anxiety. See you in the next video.